everybody. Here I am on another rant. I just can't shut up. Anyhow, trying out this new camera. I picked up a Hero Pro 8, the latest GoPro camera. I had the Hero Pro 5 through most of my other videos. I also use the iPhone on occasion for some video taking, just because it's what I have on me at the time. Supposedly this camera, the GoPro 8, has improved microphones and stabilization. Supposedly it's good enough to pretty much the same as if you were using a gimbal, one of the little stabilizing units that you can connect around the camera, and it's kind of like a gyroscopic effect. I'm sure it's not as good as that, but if it works in that direction where it's not so obvious that we need that, I figured this is taking a little bit of a ride right now. I'm actually taking a ride to the mall, and I have to exchange my MacBook, having a problem with the screen, having a couple of weird artifacts come up on it. I hope it's not a problem with the new 16-inch MacBooks, the MacBook Pro, but I'm actually exchanging for another unit. Basically just returning it and buying another one, rather than sending it into Apple and being any time without a unit. It's still within its return period, so it just kind of makes sense to do that way. So anyways, yeah, I figured this would be a good time to have a little chat about what's changed and what I've been up to, where the season's going, and the company in the future. I think we all kind of evaluate this time of year when it starts to slow down. We're sitting waiting for snow, at least us in the chilly parts of the country. And I think each year we go into the next year with a new plan of attack and some changes, and I think year after year after year it becomes obvious that nothing goes exactly as how you plan. You probably retain 10 or 20% of your New Year's resolution or your new plans, whether it be personal or in business. But anyways, I've been doing this for 22 years. I think this is my 22nd year coming into it that I've been self-employed, give or take a couple of years where I did sell my first company and went back into business again with a different company name. I had a personal, the mother of my children, I would call her my wife. We were together for 18 years, but we were never married, just because of complexities with health insurance and whatnot. She had cystic fibrosis, and she ended up having a double lung transplant. This was back in 2009, 2008 area, which she battled for a long time. I met her right out of high school. Long story short, she got a double lung transplant, was good to go for about a year or so, a little over a year, and then she ended up rejecting those lungs and went downhill in a matter of probably 4 to 6 months, and she passed away back in 2009, actually the beginning of 2010 I believe it was, or 2009 going into 2010. I had, not to be sorrow, but my mother, my father, and the mother of my children, my wife I call her, if we weren't married, or if we were married, regardless, all passed away within an 18-month time period between the end of 2009 to 2010, the beginning of 2011. So I kind of restructured my whole life. I had a landscaping company for since '98. Whatever it was, 10 years or whatever it was, called K&S, Ken and Sons Landscaping, and my kids were young at the time, kind of following in my father's footsteps, who had R&S, which was Richie and Son. I never really worked with him. My father wasn't very involved in my childhood years, or much of my life for that matter at all. But I always looked forward to that as I was a kid. I knew that that's what the R&S stood for, so I kind of tried to follow that little bit of a tradition with my son. My two sons, that is, and it never, my oldest son has worked with me, as well as my youngest son here and there, but they don't want to do anything to do with landscaping for the most part. They're on different paths in life, which is fine. But I just kind of had that, kind of carried on that little bit of a tradition. That was the K&S Landscape that I ended up when my we'll just continue to call her my wife. Her name was Jamie. When she passed away, kind of restructured my whole life and sold off the company in parts. I didn't really sell it as a company. I sold the accounts, I sold the equipment, paid off my debt, and kind of walked away with a sum of money, nothing outrageous, but enough to kind of figure out what I wanted to do in life. I ended up going to work for another company as a manager of the company. We kind of a sublet. Anyways, long story. But I went to work for, I'd say, about a 2-year time period for someone else, so to speak, and ended up kind of getting the drive to go back into business again, and I restarted as the KLC that we are today. And that was probably in 2013, I would say, maybe even before that, 2012 to current. So I've been kind of doing a mix of what I learned in the first company, and as things change and the economy has changed and my lifestyle has changed, and doing small changes in business and coming up with a new plan each year. And so far it's been great. I've managed to hit certain levels that I was never able to do with the first company. Kind of went into it very blindly, and there was no business plan. The plan of business was to get business. I was spread around 4 towns around the Otis Air National Guard base here on Cape Cod. So I had a lot of windshield drive time. At one point I had 3 crews running around. One of the biggest things that I could say that I've done that was most profitable or stood out the most was A, charging what you're worth, and B, sizing my service area small, being efficient in that way. Not only does that help you on a small scale, and you say, well, I just work by myself, and an occasional work or whatever the case is, and you don't mind that extra drive, it's kind of nice. Well, you're structuring your company around inefficiency to begin with. What I've done, basically, I've always provided a good amount of value to a customer, too much value for that matter. I would want to do it a little better and a little cheaper than the next guy. That was it. I'm like, I know that business will be good. I'll have business if I just follow that rule, which was the complete wrong. I shouldn't say completely, but it's just not a good rule to run business by. Quality of work is very important. Consistency, showing up on time, all of that stuff is very, very important, and to a longevity of a company, you need that. As important, if not more important, is getting what you're worth in your hourly rate. You're not charging what you can do it for, you're charging what it should be done for. That's what you need to think about. Your hourly rate isn't just what it costs you in gas, what your insurance costs, and how much you want to make, and minus your taxes and all your it's not that. It's not just that. You have to figure in expansion. You have to figure in if things go wrong. You have to figure in basically a factor. Getting the business is not the hard part of business. I think that's the biggest thing. Is somebody jumps out of a job, they're working 40 hours, 50 hours a week, whatever it is, and you're like, I just want to stay busy. I don't care. As long as I'm making what my hourly wage was and I can do things myself, I'm happy. You're starting off handicapped right from the beginning if you do that. You may need to do that for a small time period, but know that that is incorrect. Do it as little as possible. Do it for a day, a week, a month, a year, whatever. But know every day that is not the way that you should be doing it. It's not greed. It's not any of that, okay? When your bills need to be paid, when you're working for a customer that has more than you do in life, do you think they work more hours, they work harder? No, they don't. They're probably working less than you, or probably not working at all in the field. They've done it because they've been smarter. Do Do you think they don't charge people what the work is worth, whether they're in the service business or what their product's worth or whatever their business may be? No, nobody does that. If anybody will understand that your rate includes that, it's people that are successful. And those are the type of people that you want to be working for. You don't want to work for somebody that does not understand that your company needs to make money, that you need to have profits, that you need to have extra money for when things go wrong and to be able to expand to the next level. So if those are the type of people that you're dealing with or that you're running across, your service area is wrong, your area, maybe your market isn't just for the business that you're doing. This could be any industry for that matter. So always keep that in mind in the back of your head. I could go on for hours about this, but I just wanted to let you know one of the biggest things that I did was raise my prices. When I raised my prices, I did it not fully understanding that I needed to do it. I felt a little greedy, it felt a little guilty at the time that I did it, okay? But I did it because for years and years and years, what I was doing wasn't working. I mean, it was working. I was paying my bills. I was, expanding a little bit, but I was always at the end of the year, nothing extra. I wasn't able to better myself. I wasn't able to better the company. I wasn't able to do, anything better. It was basically just enough. And I'm like, okay, well, that's just, I'm learning each year and it'll get better. It'll get better. It'll come to me and it will get better. No, you need to get smarter. You need to make the adjustments to get better. That you need to go out and make that happen. So raising my prices, I kind of did it blindly. I had plenty of work. The hardest thing is not getting work. There's plenty of work out there. If you're having trouble getting work, you're looking in the wrong places. You're doing the wrong things. Do some more research. Talk to people. Network. Figure out what it is that you're doing, that you're not doing, that everybody else is doing to get work, because there's plenty of work out there. If you show up, you charge a reasonable rate, and you do a good job, a reasonably good job, I'm not talking perfectionist quality, which in some situations I may do that. If somebody says, look, I'm willing to pay more, I want this job done to a level that's like no other, we can provide that. We'd be more than happy to do that. There's a certain level, for instance, say a leaf cleanup. Nobody really does this with a leaf cleanup. It'd be more of an installation job, but one person could do a cleanup and get 99% of the leaves. There may be 5 leaves under a couple of shrubs, okay? Some people may say, well, the cleanup's not done. There's still 5 leaves in those shrubs. The next person will be like, I mean, come on. You got 2 truckloads of leaves out of here. There's only 5 leaves left. The job's done. It's fine. It's great. No problem. Everything's fine. As soon as you come back in 2 days, the neighbor's leaves are going to blow over here, and there's going to be 100 leaves there. It's all a matter of to what level you want to do that, and to what level you want to work depends on the price. The price depends on how long you figure that's going to take. How long did you figure it was going to take? How long did the customer expect that job to take? How long did the customer want the job done to a certain level? That's what you need to figure out, how many hours it's going to take to be able to price a job. Anyways, so I raised my prices, not really understanding. I had an idea that it was a good idea, but I said, you know what? I've tried other things. It's not working. I'm going to try this. Let me see how this works out. Since I've done that, the company in every way has gotten better. At no point did I have less work. At no point did I even notice anything different in my daily activities. Pretty much everything was still the same, but there was profits. There was money to repair things. There was money to upgrade equipment. There was money to buy more efficient equipment to allow you to get the job done quicker, not cheaper, to get the job done quicker so you can make more money. It's kind of a whole snowball effect. And I'm, stage 1 of this is still a learning experience every day. However, the quicker you get on this track and understand that, the faster you're going to get to where you want to be. So keep that in mind. I'm not just saying, hey, just you're gonna typically would charge $40 to mow this lawn. Well, I'm just gonna charge $80. Doesn't work that way. charge a little bit more than you typically would. If you're just starting out and you don't have work, you gotta price a little low, okay? You gotta price a little low. You gotta entice the person to get the work. That's fine. You need to be able to read your customer, to understand people that are price shopping. There's a lot of people, if they're gonna get 3, 4, 5 estimates, 80 to 90% of the time, those are jobs I don't get. It's usually you connect with the person when you meet them, they like you, they're comfortable, you sell yourself as a person, they trust that you're going to be on the property when you say you're going to be, you're going to do a reasonable job, you're going to be there if there's a problem, if they have any questions, and they like you right from the beginning. 9 times out of 10, I've sold the job before they even see the price. As long as it's within reason and they see it, the number is what they had in the back of their mind with being relatively reasonable, you've got the job. Those are the type of people and the type of work that you want. That's how you want to fill up your schedule with. Not the type that are trying to find somebody that this person said they're going to do the cleanup for $450. Well, you're doing it for $320. Well, you said you'd only do it for $175. I'll take you. There are those people. There's going to always be those people. But those are going to be the people that are in and out of business. They're not going to be there in 2 years when the customer needs them again and they have to go find somebody else, take 3 hours of their time to meet 5 other contractors or whatever the case may be. You show up, you do the job continuously, keep your rates reasonable, but get what you're worth. That's value. That's the definition of value. So anyways, that was one of the biggest things that I've done. Enough of that. I've talked and ranted about that enough. The other thing, like I said, is I now work in one town. Literally, the town that I work in, there's a ton of competition, tons of landscapers. I could probably sit and name close to 100 different landscaping companies just that I know of off the top of my head in my town on the Cape. Plenty of people out there. There's no need to be cutting each other's throats. I think 9 out of 10 of the contractors out here, we're all friendly with each other. We don't step on each other's toes. We're respectful. I have no enemies. I talk to a lot of local landscapers around. We just kind of all in the same boat. If everybody collectively is charging the proper rate for what they're worth, the industry does better. You can do the job better. You can have the proper equipment. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. So keep that in mind if you're just starting out in business or you're banging your head off the wall. I can't stress it enough how important that is. The other thing that I've come to do now, now I started with that to say this. Because of that, that's allowed me a little bit of extra money to try different equipment setups, different arrangements, different combinations of systems. My latest kick that I'm on now. Last year, I've had at least 50 different trucks with just KLC. I've had 25 different trailers, enclosed trailers, open trailers, dump trailers, all different combinations of different trucks, 1 tons, 1.5 tons, half-ton pickups, 3/4 ton pickups, 1 ton pickups. None of that is super important. It's more what you like working with. They all do the job. They all do the job. They'll all get your job done. Some better than others. Some are more reliable than others. Pick what you like. Pick what you're comfortable with. Pick what you're able to afford. In my case right now, I'm extremely happy with having my current arrangement that I've been working with is I have less trucks, less employees. I'm borderline going to be solo this year. I'll have 1 to 2 people also working alongside of me here or there that are going to be friends or family type of thing. But I'm probably not going to have any official employees, no workers' comp, none of that on the books this season. I'm going to pretty much work by myself, and I'm going to focus on having the right equipment to do the work, charging what I'm worth, and building systems that work. Then I'm going to move and step up and try to find not a quantity of people, a quality one person to kind of take my place that will have a good amount of equipment, of quality equipment, and the proper tools to do the job, so they enjoy doing their job and they can try to do their job the best they can and be worth the money that they're deserving of making. They're going to be a very well-paid individual, and that's going to allow me to take it to the next level. That's my focus right now, is simplicity and quality of equipment, and not a large number of people, trucks, anything like that. So that's where I'm working with. Trying to keep a small world that I can control, that I'm comfortable with doing, and that's where I'm at. My current situation, I picked up this Dodge that I'm driving right now, which is a 3/4 ton Cummins quad cab 4-wheel drive truck. I've outfitted it with the 8-foot Fisher plow, all set up, ready to go. Absolutely love this truck. Every day that I drive this truck, I love it more and more and more. I've probably mentioned it in other videos, maybe I haven't. I take a lot of videos that never get up on YouTube because obviously I talk a lot. Love this truck. I will be keeping this truck for a long time, which is really amazing for somebody to say that changes vehicles so much. I've actually been investing a lot into it, fixing little things. As you can probably see, I don't know how wide the camera angle is, but the door panels are off. I'm in the process of changing out the door speakers. When I bought this truck, it had an upgraded stereo system with the amplifier, which I also have another video on. And the door speakers, I just realized, have been blown this whole time. They don't work one of them wasn't even working, and the other one, only one of the component speakers in the speaker has been working. And there's so many other speakers that were working in this truck, I didn't even realize it. They're the main sound stage of your stereo system. So anyways, I just realized that, and while I'm exchanging my computer, I'm going to pick up a new set of speakers as well, was the other reason I'm going to the store. So I have the door panels apart, as you can see, making small adjustments to enjoy driving this vehicle. When I do have that employee, I'm going to get them their own truck. Here is the difference that I'm doing. I am surrounding myself with small businesses, so to speak, of trailers. Okay, I just bought a 16-foot enclosed trailer, which I've had plenty of enclosed trailers before. The enclosed trailer is basically going to be the maintenance work trailer that has pruners, it has the mower, it has everything that you need in it for doing maintenance work, okay, for small tree work, limbing, that type of thing. I've also got a 14-foot, 14K dump trailer, okay. All of these trailers now can be pulled with pretty much any truck. It doesn't matter what the truck is, for the most part. Even a half-ton can pull them. A 3/4 ton is a little more, suited, especially if they're weighted down. But a 1-ton, a dump truck, whatever the case is, whatever that truck is in the future, is basically a universal fit for that trailer. So I have the enclosed trailer. I'm going to set all up nicely. I'm in the process of doing that. I'll have a video in the future. I've already done a ton. Painted the inside up nice. Set it up simply, put a whole bunch of racks in it. I got Green Touch and I believe Rackham racks. I'm waiting for another rack or two to come in the mail. Setting all that up, and I'll show you a video on that. Got the Walker mower in it. That's going to be the mower, the trailer to take for maintenance, that type of stuff. Got the dump trailer, which I can drop on site. I could pick it up, drop it off, move it from here to here when I have a job that has debris. It can be picked up, moved from job to job. It can be used when I'm doing large mulch jobs, and it's also used when I'm sucking up leaves for leaf cleanups. The way I'm doing it now, I'm using the enclosed trailer. I'm doing the leaf cleanup, leaving the piles of leaves in spots that can be sucked up. So I'll go do 1, 2, 3 cleanups in the day with the enclosed trailer, drop the trailer off at the shop, I grab the enclosed trailer with the leaf sucker, and then I go suck up all those piles from the leaves. And that I can do right into the dark with lights, which extends my working day from 4 o'clock up till 6, 7 o'clock at night, because I don't really need to see. All I need to see is the piles, and I have spotlights that shine on the piles. It extends my work day because it's really hard sometimes to get out first thing in the morning. The ground's frozen. You can't really move leaves around that are stuck to the ground, so that allows me to do that. So that's been working out great, those 2 trailers. I also have a new equipment / car hauler trailer that I bought. So I have currently 3 trailers that do 3 different tasks, but they can all kind of do their own thing as well, do the same thing as well. So that's where I'm at. 1 truck, 3 trailers, which is crazy to think of. In the past, I had 3 trucks. You know, I'd have like a half-ton pickup for doing light duty work, a 1-ton dump truck that, you know, would be the leaf sucker, and then I'd have, you know, a 3/4 ton that would kind of be the in-between truck that I'd pull. Then I'd have a regular, you know, open trailer that I'd move the mower around, or enclosed trailer that was kind of in between, would do this but not that. So I'm trying to focus, and I will focus my work and my scheduling around the equipment in that way. And so far, it's worked out really well. I've kind of used so many different types of equipment in different situations. I know what does work, what doesn't work, what's efficient, what's not efficient, and it kind of sets the sets the schedule and how I arrange it, which is actually, in a lot of ways, makes sense for scheduling. Like I said, the gaining a couple hours of daylight because I can suck up the leaves at the end of the day. You know, after I finish the cleanups, 3 o'clock, you know, do the first one that I might have to blow down a little bit at the end. Also, after, you know, I need a little bit of daylight, I'll do that one from 3 to 4, suck up those leaves, and then from 4 to 6 I can go suck up other piles at nighttime. It's still early, it's not loud to be running the machine, you know, people aren't sleeping, you know, like I said, up until 6 p.m. I'm safe to work. Even though it's dark out, I got the spotlights, you know, on the trailer, on the leaf sucker, on the truck, and I just need to light up the area that I'm working. So things like that, that's pretty much what I've been doing. I'll probably end this video at this point. Every time I say that, I talk for another 10 minutes. I'm almost to the mall where I'm going. Also, like I said, I want to check out how this camera does. Hopefully this video came out decent. As far as the audio goes, really not much to see driving around in the truck, but I'm curious about the stabilization and whatnot. So raise your prices, get what you're worth. You got to do a good job. You can't just raise your prices and do a crappy job. Do a good job. What the customer may remember that you weren't cheap. They might remember that they paid for their service, but they're going to remember those little extra things that you did, the little extra nicer job that you did. Maybe the follow-up to ask if they were satisfied. You say to yourself, well, I don't have time to do that stuff. I don't have time to do that extra. You will have the time to do all that extra when you charge appropriately. You need to charge for that time as well. You need to be able to cater to that customer to make them feel happy, and I'll guarantee you, you will retain way more customers that way. There are going to be customers that just care about the final dollar, and that's fine. There's people out there landscaping for, you know, half the price that you may be charging. Let them take that. Let them do that. They're happy that their customer. You're not going to change those people. They are who they are. So get your worth as far as that goes. All right, enough of that. Have a good one. Hopefully I gave you guys a little bit of information or something that you can use in the future. Have a good one.